everybody, welcome back to Contenders China. We are heading into our second game right now. It's going to be LGD versus Alter Ego. I am joined by Scribe and now the beautiful butterfly that is Blank, no longer Kenobi, he'll be back later. Guys, LGD, they have quite a high reputation, right? They lost Gushui recently and Onlywish, in fact, to the Overwatch League, but they had a big upset last week, losing to Flag Gaming. Should we be concerned for this series?
I wouldn't say so. I would say that like LGD kind of like losing last week to Flag is something that I think it's more based on Flag playing well and LGD still trying to rediscover their identity. I mean, they've taken a brand new tank client from HDP. I mean, Rika, like now Shouchang, right, being thrust into the DPS role. This is a lot of different connections that need to be built, right? There's a lot of different synergies that did not exist last year, right? Before we can say like, yeah, you know, their support line's still relatively intact. You know, they do have some more experience with maybe Shouchang, Rika as a former tank player. Maybe there's that synergy, but now, you know, with Onlywish gone, it's only Secret really, like, you know, still in the lineup at his position. So I think this is kind of one of those really hard to discover moments for LGD. I think they have a lot of really strong talent on the team, but it's really going to be about putting it together.
Yeah, you don't have long to put it together either, right? You've got like the rest of the season. It's about like 2-3 weeks left. And I mean, in that time, I think synergy is a really important thing, right? And we saw this. So if we look at Korean Contenders, right, you run away week 1, and what was it? They trialed 295 players, and only 6 of them remained. And you see all of them; they're all like fist bumping there and having a good time. And I think synergy always will top mechanical skill, right? Especially in this meta where you've got the 3-3 going on, where a lot of things have to happen at once, and it's very nuanced, right? And LGD, yeah, they keep getting gutted over and over again, and you're trying to bring in new people. And Flag Gaming, they're looking very good when it comes to synergy. They've got their own niche going on where they throw their main tank forward and the Brigitte with Jason, and that's how they compensate for maybe a lackluster Zarya here. Again, like you say, Scribe, I completely agree with you. Just LGD's just haven't quite found themselves yet.
Well, the interesting thing you mentioned there is about how important synergy is. And Scribe, you said Shouchang has been thrust into this DPS role. He used to be a main tank, but still on the team. Do you think maybe the fact that he's been with this team for a while, even though he's on a new role now, do you think that's more important? Or do you think he needs to do a little bit more as a DPS because he didn't really show up that much last week?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a DPS change, because even like back when he was Rika, like, yeah, he was an off-tank player, but he also played support for a little bit on Zenyatta. So this guy is a well-traveled player. He's definitely showing a lot of stuff, and I think he needs to step up 100%. Whether or not it's relearning his ability as a hard carry DPS player, he can't just depend on Eternal, who's been a great Brigitte.
Well, we already know what our first map is going to be. It's going to be Ilios. So we're going to have to straight away throw off to our casters, Rapture and Kenobi, to take us into the game, and we'll talk a little bit more about LGD and their identity problems in the halftime.
Thank you so much, Gio. Welcome, Overwatchers, back to Broadcast.gg. It is time for match number 2. And it's going to be a doozy starting out here on Ilios. LGD Gaming versus Alter Ego for Overwatch Contenders China Season 3 2018 Week 3 Day 2. I'm Rapture here with Kenobi for our second match of the day. Kenobi, it's always great to be casting with my man, and we got another hopefully hype set. You looking forward to this one?
Same to you. I hope it's a little bit longer than the set we had yesterday. Hopefully it goes a little bit more than an hour with these two teams, but I think this is going to be a pretty scrappy and pretty bloodbathy game. These two teams like to play hyper aggressive. LGD likes to play more of that 3-3 composition, whereas Alter Ego like to just get in that backline with King Kong on that Winston, dive and get those picks, try and dive that backline and make sure that they aren't going to be able to play the game that much. And here it looks like we're going to be seeing something a little bit standard towards more of this map in well. We're going to be seeing the Orisa here. Definitely offers that ability to get those oops and as pulls into the well, whereas for Alter Ego, going to be running some Winston goats here.
Yeah, and for LGD, this is coming off of a really hard loss from last weekend. They lost to Flag Gaming 3-2, and I believe the last King of the Hill matchup, Control, went to a third phase. So for right now, LGD, this is really their set to lose here. Alter Ego already 0-2 in the season. LGD definitely needs this win to stay in considerable playoff contention. Let's see how things pay off for them in this first fight, although Alter Ego does have partially part of the point partially controlled here. LGD is holding off their primal raging Winston for the time being. Alter Ego, though, trying to keep LGD at the perimeter of the point. They now have 2/3 of point B right now. LGD holding off right on this choke one here behind the Orisa, trying to use the whole people in chain behind Shouchang. puts him down into the dirt. And now Chanjo trying to pull to the front line for LGD with this Orisa, but they got the opposing from Kegs, and knocking the back there is the Bree. And LGD might have to fall back. Graviton thrown down, and it's put into that room. LG Secret trying to throw down as many shots as possible into that narrow sightline there. Not going to find any kills, though. It'll be Hayakon finding one. Eternal as well. 6v4 situation here for LGD, and that could be an... Oh, and then thrown into the well there by the halt there is King Kong. Alter Ego falling apart the scene.
And this fight starts off incredibly scrappy for both teams. LGD brings out this composition with the Soldier to try and use that rotation ability that you have with the Soldier and with the Lucio speed boost. Put him behind that Orisa shield and make sure that he can try and be that kind of hyper carry that we sometimes see McCree on this map. Instead, though, Shocheng again, last week he had some issues with his ultimates, and there uses that tac visor, but immediately gets blown up by Jan 17. Definitely not getting the value he wants, and somehow after that, LGD Gaming is able to win that map back with a little bit of a misplay there coming from Likes on that Zarya, not really getting the value out of his Graviton.
Yeah, that Graviton pretty much hit absolutely nobody there. Did set up anyone for a kill. Let's see if the next Graviton will pay off better, but they're still far away from that one. Eternal popping the rally. Here comes a self-destruct from up above. Ooh, trying to use that little bit of a smooth edge there to get a nice, unique placement of that self-destruct, but doesn't find pay dirt. LGD still in full control of the point here as Alter Ego is split up. We're trying to see at least somebody get next to Ego. But that Lucio also goes down as well. Tancho finding a double kill there. And LGD forcing Alter Ego back to spawn. And Alter Ego only has one ultimate in this next fight.
And you can see really what the value of this composition from LGD brings. You can basically just walk Alter Ego on a leash towards wherever you want. They're rotating so well, using that speed boost from the Lucio, rotating that Orisa shield around and letting Shocheng pump out the damage on that Zarya, who has a Graviton here. And hopefully, Rapture, this time it doesn't get eaten.
Oh, Graviton goes right down. Alter Ego has nowhere to run. They're all in that choke point, and that's a textbook win there for LGD Gaming, running this oatmeal composition, the oats right now with that Orisa and LGD. No, I had to do it. LGD in full control now at about 80%.
So 80%, it's going to be one last fight here for Alter Ego. Some ultimates are coming up online for them. They have the Transcendence, and the grab is very close from Likes. I hope that Likes gets a little bit more value in this Graviton than before. They are going to have the rally on the side of LGD Gaming, and if Hoyo-chan can get this sound barrier, it's just definitely going to negate a lot of that damage that is going to come from this Graviton.
What kind of oats do you think it is, Kenobi? I'm partial to cinnamon. I love brown sugar cinnamon out here. I think LGD does as well, but they got to deal with Cookie, who gets that right click there on Hoyo-chan. Overtime ticking away. Alter Ego, I mean, they have ultimates that are about to pop. Likes just got Graviton. They might be able to find some pay dirt here. Just one Zarya, they're going to melt right through that and not even burn the Graviton. Not worth it. Alter Ego gets control of the point. Now 30% and gaining.
And while the rotations have been very clean from LGD so far, that time just a little bit of miscommunication there. Hoyo-chan caught out alone by himself. The dive was really good from Alter Ego to get onto him. And this next fight is going to be a bloodbath of ultimates. There's 6 for Alter Ego. We're on the other side for LG Gaming, another 6. It's just going to be a complete bloodbath. Look out for which support ults go first, because usually in this meta in Overwatch that we are currently, the second support ult always wins.
I'm going to have to put on my glasses for this one. There are going to be a ton of colors on the screen here. Using the Graviton, literally the exact same frame.
Oh, Kaze!
Kaze. Now a 6v4 situation for Alter Ego. So many ultimates popped at once there. A rally as well for Alter Ego, so it was even harder for LGD to get back into the fight there because there was so much armor to get through. Alter Ego, a very convincing fight win there.
But LGD Gaming did keep their both support ults, so that's absolutely huge for them in this next fight. For Alter Ego, the only one you have is the sound barrier from Sago here. It's going to be a battle of chicken, really. Who can get their ultimates out first for support ultimates? It's the sound barrier really is all that they need. With the self-destruct from Rookie, this could be what they need.
Oh, Hoyo-chan throwing down that sound barrier. Rookie has a self-destruct, so Alter Ego, I mean, they have no ultimates to burn. And once those cooldowns get used, it's going to be hard to get away from the self-destruct. King Kong finds Eternal, though. That's a big pick-off, despite Alter Ego having no ultimates to work with. That's huge. LGD now have to work with just two supports here. And Rookie, nowhere near self-destruct. Cookie getting one. Likes as well. King Kong, yep. And without that 3, there's no crowd control. LGD getting squandered out here. Alter Ego they're going to take this first round of control.
And Alter Ego really playing to their strengths here on this map of well. Their strength is chaos. Just get into the map, make it scrappy fights, make sure that you're popping ults when you don't really need to. You saw their King Kong killing Eternal at the start of the fight. There's no way that should be happening when you have two support ultimates for yourself. You have the Sound Barrier, you have the Transcendence. Eternal should not be able to die, especially on a character like Brigitte who is giving themselves healing on top of that. So really good play from Alter Ego, being that hyper-aggressive style and using that chaos to their advantage.
Yeah, losing that Bree at the beginning of the fight was pretty much the death sentence right there. The nail in the coffin for LGD on that round. And I mean, this is honestly, I hear this so much from you guys here in Contenders China. It's like, this team thrives in chaos. But you're absolutely right? Alter Ego is certainly one of those teams where they want to make it as hectic as possible because that's where they flourish. And LGD, I mean, they want to stick to something really standard. They're running, an obvious standard composition here that makes it a little easier to kind of stay comfortable against Alter Ego, who wants things to be chaotic. So we'll see how that works out for Ruins. These longer sight lines haven't made either team change to a Widowmaker or a McCree. Teams in China love running that McCree, and Ruins is an opportunity to run that character, but neither team going for it. Both running literal mirror comps out here, Kenobi. Any expectations as the point starts to unlock?
I think, again, it's going to be a very scrappy fight, but look out for the tanks or who's going to go down first. See where those Discord orbs are going to be going. Tanchio getting very, very low here, and he goes down right away. Great Discord placement from Jan17.
And now that Tanchio's down, I mean, Alter Ego can play much more aggressively, knowing that the Winston can't get in their face, and LGD has to fall back. They have to respect Alter Ego here. King Kong takes out Rookie. There's the other tank for LGD going down. Now Alter Ego has free reign to push up at LGD, and they can take control of the point.
And I like how aggressive Alter Ego is actually playing. They're playing at this chokehold here, just not letting LGD get any space. Gonna be able to milk much more percentage off the clock. And in this next fight, really, there are these two Gravitons, but there are the Transcendences available too. Let's see which one's gonna come out first. Who can win this game of support alt chicken? They're actually just gonna solo grab Socheng here. He's not gonna die though.
Likes and Ego, they're the ones that go down. Rookie gets them, and then the self-destruct. Rookie bursts on two characters and then self-destructs for a third kill. An amazing triple from Rookie there, almost nonchalantly, making it look easy. And Alter Ego just absolutely collapses after that play, and then Secret with a 2.5.
That is a complete disaster there. They used the Graviton onto Socheng himself, but they weren't able to get the burst option. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication, not knowing if Likes had the follow-up that he needed to confirm that kill. And then the return Graviton, very good, was able to get all those people who were coming into the fight later. And now Secret's just going in Rapture. He doesn't care.
Secret going off with the help of Tanjo, popping off that Primal Rage, creating so much space for just damage to rain down. Even Hydrogen getting on the board, Rookie as well. Alter Ego getting caught out. Just in that Primal Raging Winston alone makes it impossible for them to push up. Alter Ego forced to take deaths or go back to spawn.
And I think Hoyojin is one of those players that we need to look out for in these matchups. He's one of the people who is replacing Only Wish, who left to go to Owl in this season. And it seems like he's actually been quite an upgrade on this Lucio. He's playing it very aggressively, getting some frags as well. So, and his sound barrier timings have been great so far. So I really like how he's been playing as the Primal Rage here comes in from King Kong.
Graviton thrown down, catching a bunch of Alter Ego. 3 members against the pillar, but no kills come out as support ultimates are popped by Alter Ego. Now 70% here for LGD. Self-destruct on the point. Wow, Rookie actually throwing it off the point, and it catches Likes on the perimeter. Eternal finds 1.5 Secret as well, and LGD firing on all cylinders out here as Alter Ego not only loses the fight, but has no ultimates going into the next one.
It's going to be very difficult here for Alter Ego to even get back onto the point. 87% here. They're going to play super aggressive. I love this. They're playing super aggro against Alter Ego, making sure they can't even maybe touch the point in the end. With this promo from Tanchio as well, he's going to have a lot of boop abilities.
Oh, and there's another Graviton. LGD caught in a rock in a hard place out here, but no one's on the point, so it doesn't matter. 100% to 36 here win. LGD takes round 2.
And that was some really interesting play coming out from LGD and from Alter Ego as well. Alter Ego, we saw how convincing they looked at the start, but that one misplaced grab from Likes and the lack of follow-up really was difficult for them to come back from. After that, LGD Gaming was able to win basically off of one grab and then snowball the rest of their ult advantage throughout the fight. So Alter Ego maybe needs to be a little bit more careful with their Graviton placement and understanding of if we have the damage and the DPS and the follow-up to burst that single target if we're going to be just single targeting Socheng on that Zarya.
Yeah, I mean, Rookie right there was immediately ready with the burst option, takes down Socheng immediately, and you can see how crucial that is and how important it is to get rid of that tank player. Alter Ego going down immediately. And now LGD looks like their internet, the connection has gotten a little better. They've downloaded the PDF for Alter Ego apparently. And let's see if they've read it thoroughly as we move on to the third phase.
Oh
wow,
my God,
Hyojon with the
Hyojon.
right click, and then Eternal with that right click for the stun, following up for some kills. LGD with a 6-2 situation. Immediately, Alter Ego stands absolutely no chance there. And LGD with big kills to get that first fight win.
Hyojon showing the value of Lucio, and it looks like we're going to have a pause here. Maybe they were a little bit worried after that boop, but great play there from Hyojon getting those boops. We know how valuable Lucio can be on a map like this if you're getting those environmental kills in there. It seemed like Alter Ego was making a little bit of a style switch. They moved over to that Reinhardt, but when you lose 2 supports already at the start from just 1 boop from Hyojon, you're not going to be living as a Reinhardt.
Oh yeah, because you know those supports there too. They want to kind of go on the edge of the point because they don't want to take all this damage right when everyone runs onto it. But as a result, that puts you right at the edge of the map, and you can easily right-click. Hyojon's right there with the shot, with the boop, and it was so strong that it literally paused the game. And honestly, I really can't blame Alter Ego. After that, they kind of want to ice LGD a little bit. We'll try to figure out what's exactly. We're trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm sure it's just a technical issue at some point or something like that. But don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're gonna have a short break. On the other side of that break, we'll be getting right back into this game of Ilios. Welcome back, everybody. It was just a short break. As I said, I don't lie. Well, all right, let's not go that far. But anyway, we're back here on Ilios.
Why are they falling for that
literally
again?
not hesitating. Gets 2 again. Alter Ego clearly didn't learn their lesson. They unpaused. They're like, all right, we got this.
We paused. It's like, guys, you know what's a really good idea?
You could have prepared.
Go through coast again. Let's go through coast again. And Hyojon just says, all right, fine. I'll boop every single one of you off the map. I'm fine with that.
Oh my lord. All right, so LGD, they give Alter Ego another lesson. And now Alter Ego, all right, they got already 40% is taken on the point of Kenobi. I feel like we haven't even had like an actual fight. Alter Ego is just getting mollywopped out here. They have no ultimate charge really. They're about to get rallied, but that's about it. And maybe the self-destruct soon. You know, I mean, they really need some support ultimates just to prolong through some of these fights. But LGD is stocking up right now. Cho Chang with a graviton that catches the side of a building, and that's about it. But they can afford to take these losses. They already have a substantial lead over Alter Ego as well. So, I mean, this is looking good for them so far. Self-destruct from Lookie, though, from downtown. That finds 2 and a D-Mech on Kaze. LGD in full control.
And it's just a snowball right now. I mean, look at the ult percentages here. Sago has 55% to ultimate, whereas Hyojon has already ulted in that last fight. It's just a complete snowball right now for LGD, and Alter Ego are gonna have to save up some of these ultimates. They've been given some gimmies with Shochang currently with that graviton not hitting pay dirt. Now he's close towards 80%, so he's not gonna really be missing it too much. But they have to really start to, you know, get that a little bit better than before.
Oh, there's the graviton goes down. They really love throwing gravitons at buildings right here. It's gonna find more than that. Does get a few members of Alter Ego, but they're really, that was what was great about that graviton is that the LGD knows they don't have to win the fight. They just have to keep Alter Ego off the point, and that's exactly what that graviton does. Alter Ego cannot literally touch the point due to that graviton. I caught 5 of them, and LGD take the first map, winning Ilios 2-1.
It seems like Shochang is very hit or miss on his gravitons. Either he's hitting 5-mans, or he's hitting the side of a building, or he's hitting the inside of Diva Matrix 3 times in a row. So it looks like he's gotten a little bit better than last week. He still has to maybe work out some of the kinks a little bit, but there, I mean, Hyojon, the absolute probably carry of that last map, milking so much percentage off the clock with just these 1 boops at a time. This 2 boops at the start, then bumping off the Reinhardt, who's that main tank. In that GOAT's composition, when you're running that Reinhardt as the main tank, you lose so much shield mitigation, you lose so much cleave damage, you just lose so much potential, and it's just really hard for you to come back once the snowball starts rolling that hard.
But it's not too chilly out here for Alter Ego. They still have an opportunity to get back to this one, and they're certainly not far behind. Let's see what they can do on our second map as we head to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. More of Overwatch Contenders China Season 3, 2018, Week 3, Day 2, coming your way. What's up, Overwatchers? Welcome back to Broadcast.gg. It is Overwatch Contenders China Season 3, 2018, Week 3, Day 2, and it is Match 2 of the day. LGD Gaming versus AE, Alter Ego. LGD is up 1-0 after a 2-1 win on Ilios, but now it's time for Numbani. Kenobi, I know you love this map. I know you every day you text me early in the morning, you're like, Rapture, I just can't go to sleep. I'm dreaming about Numbani. So
Yeah, dude,
I know you love this map.
I love the high grounds, dude. They're just just the high ground and the mobility that you can have, the different variations of comp. I just love this map to bits. But it seems like here we've had a substitution. X-Black here coming in for Kaze. X-Black here offers a little bit more variation in his hero pool. He can play that Zarya. He can also play that McCree as well. So has a little bit of that flexibility that maybe Kaze didn't have around this map. They don't want, and it looks like for Alter Ego, they're going to be sticking more to this 3-3 GOATS composition with a Winston, whereas on defense it's going to be that the standard, really, this somber Doomfist dive.
Yeah, when I thought of Numbani, I'm like, yeah, they're definitely going to be running somber Doomfist. In China and hybrid, a lot of teams just love defaulting to this composition, throwing down a somber and a Doomfist, especially with the Mercy Ana. When you have the Mercy that can go in with the more divey players of the team, and then the Ana with the big biotics make it really easy to melt characters once Doomfist and the Winston and the D.Va have dived in. And right there, Tancho and Xiaocheng already getting on the board for 3 or 2.5. That is Alter Ego getting bounced back very quickly.
And especially with Taro Cookie being the one to go down first there, you lose a lot of that CC potential that you need for Xiaocheng here on this Doomfist. Xiaocheng actually, when we look at the comps in the start and when we have these little nuggets of information, we see that Xiaocheng is that Doomfist player, so he does seem very comfortable on an already 61% to an ultimate. For Alter Ego, they're going to have to be very careful, as it seems like they're just content to hard pocket here. That's why they really have Hoyochin on this Mercy. They have Secret, just can pump out so much damage and healing to Xiaocheng.
Absolutely. And Xiaocheng now already disrupting Alter Ego before the fight even really gets started. Alter Ego pushed back into that small cubby room there. LGD gonna now rotate and try and attack from all angles here. At least push out Alter Ego to the perimeter, so they're forced to follow up through this road area here. LGD in full control. Not only this, I mean, this is gonna waste so much time for Alter Ego, Kenobi here, because I mean they have no great entryway onto the point, but they're wasting so much time trying to figure out a way on.
You see the zoning potential from the Doomfist, and now you're seeing the potential of the Nano Doomfist here. It goes in, not getting the value that it wanted, but it does force out the Transcendence here.
Yep, absolutely. Once that Transcendence is done, Xiaocheng can pop the Meteor Strike. Might want to do that to salvage this fight. There it goes, looking for options inside. Somehow going right through the ceiling of this building. I don't believe that's literally possible. Xiaocheng still finds Jen, and now looking for more. Eternal finds Cookie, and LGD once again taking that fight. Great play there by Xiaocheng on that Meteor Strike, waiting out the Transcendence, and Alter Ego bashed back without even taking a third of the point.
And one of those combos that's really good in this matchup really is that combo with the EMP and the Meteor Strike. You get that Meteor Strike so that way you have that one-shot capability, where with the EMP at the same time, you're not able to really do anything about it. You just go down almost immediately. And now with these ultimates, Alter Ego really have this one fight left.
Yeah, I mean, Alter Ego, they do have 3 ultimates for all 3 of their tanks here. So, I mean, there's so much. Wait, I don't even know who's aiming, if anything. That gets absolutely eaten right there. You gotta floss after that one. LGD now gonna be popping ultimates left and right. Nano boost going down. Xiaocheng with the Meteor Strike, looking for someone. Oh, likes, find Tancho in the meantime. Xiaocheng now off that Meteor Strike, doesn't find Pater, but will take down Jan with the uppercut. Cookie though, right-clicking Xiaocheng immediately. Eternal with the D-Mech. Rookie on the high ground, unmitigated damage, but Alter Ego realizing that they don't have to contest the D.Va because they're on the point. Let them come to you. And then Rookie immediately does so. LGD now have given up over 2/3 of the point. Alter Ego still has ultimates to burn here, Kenobi. Likes finds 1.5. Now Tancho and Eternal still on the point, but they can barely contest. And now Graviton keeping the remainder LGD off the point, but Alter Ego still has not confirmed it until there. They get the kill on Tancho and Xiaocheng, and they do get the points.
Likes there, throws away one grab, but makes up for it in just playing DPS Zarya, which is really what you want. So high charge, was managing even to farm up to another grab in the meantime because of how much damage he was doing. And also, to be said, Sago there with a huge sound barrier to mitigate any damage that was coming from that EMP. And now LGD Gaming going to switch it up a little bit, going to run this 3-3 Winston GOATS composition as well. So just mirror matchups right now. Although Alter Ego have the advantage in their ultimates, so they should be very snowbally if LGD is not careful.
LGD Now gonna take this a little slowly here as Alter Ego has control of the payload, but Tanchio is gonna go right in and use Primal Rage to start stopping the point, right? Or stopping the payload. Trying to waste as much time off of Alter Ego's clock as they can. But LGD is so far still in control. They get that fight, or get that DMAC onto Rookie. They've outlasted the Primal Rage from the Winston. Now the Transcendence from Jan as Likes and Cookie get on the board. About 2 minutes and change left on the clock here. Jan going to about, still over 200 HP out here, still chilling. And LGD falling back, not wanting to waste any more time on their defense.
And that was some really good peel from the side of Alter Ego there. They saw that the dive was coming very deep from Tanchio onto the backline, onto Jan 17, and the peel was exceptionally able to give him the healing, and then he was able to pop off, even burst down the Primal Rage that came from Tanchio as well. And Tanchio, in this third point, going to be switching over to the Reinhardt, offer a little bit more death ball. You're going to offer a little bit more sustain and shielding, because right now, Likes is pretty much melting Winston whenever he dove in, so now you have that shielding to stop a little bit of the oncoming damage.
Yep, and with both teams now running Reinhardt, of course you want to have a shield for the opposing Reinhardt's Earth Shatter when that comes. Here comes the Graviton self-destruct combination, and it does catch King Kong, who's trying to keep the rest of the team alive with a barrier, and X-Black also finds one Hyojan, but that is it. 2 self-destructs and only 2 kills. Now a Transcendence gets popped by Secret. No kills on the outside of that one. LGD do regain control of the payload for now, as Alter Ego just above 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the clock, Kenobi.
But Alter Ego did keep their Transcendence, so in this next fight, they're going to have a lot more sustain. Tanchio here, it's going to be interesting to see how he decides to use the Shatter, and he hits big. He kills King Kong, and he gets the charge as well. Doesn't hit really pay dirt there, but the Transcendence is available for the side of Alter Ego.
I would say that's a pretty smart Earth Shatter, using the cover of the payload to kind of hide that he was going to sneak that Earth Shatter on the right side, and Alter Ego gets hit. About 2 or 3 members do get hit by it, and that's certainly enough to sway the tide of this battle, Kenobi. Alter Ego falling back, not going to burn the rally, going to save it for the next fight. Now they have 2 minutes and change on the clock going into this next one, but LGD is about to get Transcendence, about to have all 3 of their support ultimates going into the next one.
With the ultimates that they have as well, they can play a little bit more aggressive than they need to, but Shocheng here is actually going to try and do a sneaky Zarya, going into this high ground and maybe just wait for Alter Ego to push in. He's going to jump down, so he doesn't really have that surprise capability anymore, but he still has this Graviton. Look out to see if X-Black can eat it.
Yep, and Rookie, though, also looking for Likes' Graviton. Shocheng, we saw last week, 3 Gravitons thrown in a row in a defensive matrix, but that one goes right to the payload. Self-destruct right on it, but it's Hyojan stealing kills with a right click, and the kill feed going green for LGD Gaming.
Hyojan really loves him some right click, and this is just going to be a there you go again, gonna stagger onto that.
Say that again.
And the way that Alter Ego really has going to have such a hard time to get back onto this point, LGD can play so far forward and take so much space, knowing they have both support ultimates. They have the Shatter as well. The Rally, there's still left residual armor from the last one, so they can just play so aggressive here. And with 59 seconds left, Rapture, Alter Ego's going to get maybe 1 or 2 fights. They need to have a really eco push here to force out some ultimates.
Yeah, and they can't hesitate on. Oh, Earth Shatter from Tanchio gets to the left side of the barrier, so it's not entirely clean, but it's enough to kill Saga on the left side. So overall, not a bad usage. They probably would have liked to have gotten higher value off that Earth Shatter and save it for the next fight, but considering how many more ultimates LGD still has, I think that's a pretty good trade.
So Alter Ego did force out the Shatter, which is a big deal because King Kong is going to have his. Likes is not that close to Graviton yet, but Alter Ego has kept their support ultimates, and with Shocheng having this Graviton, it's going to be huge for them to keep it, and we need to see who's going to win this ultimate game of support chicken right now. The grab is big in the backline.
Oh, great job there, using the speed boost to immediately follow up on the Graviton. Oh, Tanchio gets stunned though, self-destruct. Oh, and a great pin there to keep Tanchio from putting his shield up. And now Alter Ego going right in. Earth Shatter, that'll catch Eternal, but only Eternal there. And Hyojan also getting killed by X-Black. Now Alter Ego in overtime, slamming LGD against the back of the wall. But overtime ticking away. LGD still has time to get back into this one.
But LGD had the ultimates advantage. Again, going into this, Likes is going to have to be absolutely massive with this Graviton. It's going to be a miracle through to do all the damage through the sound barrier that Hyojan has as well. But Tanchio could end everything with the Shatter combo here. Oh, there it is.
Another sneaky one. Ninja Gaiden out here with the Earth Shatters. Again, right to the payload. Then Rookie with the self-destruct to follow up. Gets Sago, gets Likes. LGD Gaming says no, and Alter Egos have to try again. LGD taking it. A big win there to stop Alter Ego from completing the map.
And Alter Ego had a really nice fight going into that last one. The fight beforehand, they layered their support ultimates, which sometimes you would think, oh, you don't really want to do that. You want to keep and make sure that they're layered. But there, they stacked them on top of each other. Really good because there was the Reinhardt swinging into the Transcendence. So maybe you would have been able to get a couple of kills with that Reinhardt hammer and with the residual damage. But they used the Lucio sound barrier to layer on top of that to pretty much guarantee themselves that they were going to be able to push that cart, because I think the Transcendence alone would not have been enough to heal them. And then in that last fight, as clean as you like, the stun shatter combo, we see it time and time again. Slip it right under the cart, and everyone dies.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Like, the stun sets you up, and then the payload gives you that coverage. Like, oh, the Reinhardt's on the other side of it. You don't necessarily see it coming, and just sneaks it right under. I absolutely love that. That was so sick. And LGD, I mean, yeah, this is a team that, you know, can over time has that composure to stay alive in clutch moments like that. LGD holding off Alter Ego to just 2 points and setting themselves up with a win condition to be up 2-0 in this set.
And it looks like for Alter Ego, they're going to run what LGD ran on defense, this Sombra Doomfist dive. So a lot of potential. It's like they don't have the Mercy. So what Alter Ego is doing is they have more of the burst healing than just the sustained healing. When LGD was running this, they ran the Mercy instead so that you had that sustained healing onto the Doomfist so you could pocket. But here, they're just going to try and go for the just burst healing that you can have onto him with the armor as well. So Jan 17 is going to have a rough time having to heal everyone on this team. He's going to have to be really important in this next fight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a hard task here. And Secret going to be looking to hit these big biotics. Of course, they have Hyojon to be able to provide a lot of that pocketing here for Shochang. And certainly look, I mean, really, this is what I'm looking at, right? Like, Shochang's going to be looking for getting the Dragon Blade and then throw Nano Boost on him from Secret and then pocket with Hyojon and then Eternal with EMPs to make it impossible to run away from the Genji. So that's really, like, LGD has an obvious game plan they're going for here. Alter Ego, they're just running, you know, that Sombra Doomfist on a composition that we saw in the previous round here. They just want to have crowd control. They want to stun. They want to stop. They want to slow down LGD as much as possible, because they know at this point LGD is kind of outplaying them a bit. If they can just slow LGD down, that might be enough to try and keep pace.
So here, really, for LGD, their win condition is to farm up to, as you mentioned, farm up to that Nano Blade and farm to the EMP. So then you can EMP Nano Blade. The one thing they have to be very careful of here is Taro Cookie on this Sombra. If Taro Cookie can farm up his EMP before that comes out, X-Black goes really deep. That's actually disastrous for the side of Alter Ego.
Yeah, because now you know, okay, if I dive in there, I'm not going to get punched by a Doomfist. So LGD can just kind of run right in here, and they know Alter Ego doesn't have an EMP yet. So really, yeah, oh, that was, oh, wow, yeah, King Khan going down without able to pop the Primal Rage. And now here comes the Dragon Blade from Shochang. They don't even need to use the Nano Boost. They don't even need to be pocketed by Hyojon. Shochang just gets it done on their own, though they will get pocketed by Hyojon. Nonetheless, of course, you want to get those assists. Why not? Hancho also getting on the board there. Now LGD swiftly taking point A.
And that's really because X-Black was unfortunately out of position there. He dies on the Doomfist, and you lose a lot of that burst damage potential, as you mentioned. And then really, Shochang can just say, all right, there's no Doomfist. I can basically go in for free, not a lot of CC there, besides that Sombra. And now they kept their ultimates for this next push. They have 5 of them to their name, and they might just wait still. This EMP, they can probably farm up another one, so they might just use it right here to try and just snowball onto the second point.
Oh, no, like, great play there by the LGD Sombra. Eternal waiting for the opposing EMP to come out and stayed out of range, and then ran in as Alter Ego was committing to follow up on their own EMP. That was textbook from LGD. Works off perfectly, and they get the full wipe.
That was so sick from Shochang there. He dashed onto the Zenyatta because the Zenyatta only had 50 health, comboed him, got the reset, then was able to come back into the team fight and do so much damage. And now Alter Ego has switched up their composition completely from what they started with, bringing out the Brigitte and also bringing out Taro Cookie here on this Zarya here to offer a little bit more sustain, a little bit mitigation of damage with those bubbles.
Shochang, you can see on your screen right now, has a Dragon Blade ready to go once the time is right. Hancho using the Primal Rage, already tenderizing Alter Ego for Shochang. Jan goes down, so you know, well, there's likely no Transcendence going to be ready for this next one. Shochang gets in, finds X-Black, finds Cookie, and now it'll be Alter Ego fallen by the wayside here. Self-destruct to try and salvage the rest of this fight, but that's pretty much a wasted ultimate here for Alter Ego. Likes probably shouldn't have used that. And LGD now in full control of the payload. They're just about a couple meters away from completing this second checkpoint here, Kenobi. And not only that, they're doing it with style.
Yeah, and they're doing it with a huge ultimate advantage as well. Jan 17 still has this Transcendence for this next fight, but really, it's going to be up to X-Black to try and deal with Shocheng here. There's an EMP that's available right now for Eternal. He does get scouted out, so great scouting out from X-Black. They're just using that heal. But now, going into this next fight, it is pretty much last fight. If LGD wins this, they are going to be able to push this all the way through, and they're going to be going into halftime with a 2-0 victory.
Oh, here we go. EMP into self-destruct. Transcendence comes out, but it's not enough to stop the 3K. Rookie looking like a veteran out here. And LGD Gaming completely mopping the floor with Alter Ego with that combination. Now it's just the scraps getting picked up, and LGD making their way to the end of the map.
And this is going to be it because LGD has this Nano Blade. It's going to be able to secure this point most likely here with great communication between the EMP and the self-destruct from Rookie and from Eternal. And now Nano Blade is going to come in to secure the point.
Yep, this is it right here. The Just Desserts LGD looking to clean things up, and Shocheng does it with the help of that nano boost. Finds 2 supports for Alter Ego. If you think they're going to sustain throughout this fight, they won't have the healing to do so. LGD, there it is, completing the map. Now they're up 2-0.
And LGD looking so clean on that last map. Their ult combinations have been absolutely stellar, and the timings of them as well. As we mentioned, that last fight, the EMP into the self-destruct, the nano boosts with those EMPs as well. It's just been really nice to see LGD coming in, looking in hot. Alter Ego, I'd like to see them clean it up a little bit more because it looks like LGD, with their team compositions, understand what they want to be running. There, it was really just, we're going to run this Genji Sombra with the Ana. We're going to try and get that EMP Nano Blade, but we didn't really need to because X-Black was out of position. So if Alter Ego can maybe clean it up a little bit and force some more ultimates out of the side of LGD, that might be what they need, and that might be their ticket back into this game.
Well, hopefully they can get that ticket in time. We'll see what the desk has to say. We just went to 2 maps, and now it's their turn to talk about it. Gio, how about you take it away?
So those are pretty exciting first 2 maps. Things are looking kind of interesting right now, but I want to talk a little bit about the first map that we saw in Ilios, Alter Ego managed to take it back off of LGD, and they took it from 29% up to 100%. What happened in that team fight that allowed them to do that?
I just want to give credit to Alter Ego as a team in general for this, because I think when we do see a lot of these like open division or these trial teams kind of play up, we have seen a lot of them get outclassed. But by far, I think the general consensus on the desk this season has been Alter Ego is the stronger of these teams by far. They're playing a very coordinated, and I think King Kong leading by example, and Kazu also having these great bombs at the end of well to really secure the deal. I think that's really what's driving the force here. They're not playing scared. They're playing their composition. They're bringing very comfortable on a dive 3-3 composition, and they're going in. They're taking these fights. They're not backing off, and they're playing with a lot of aggression, and that's pressuring LGD. LGD has shown a lot of weakness, not a lot of stability in terms of the rung chain department and their DPS department. I think by pressuring them, they're finding these openings, and that's how they're taking these small advantages in maps.
Shocheng originally came out with a soldier at the start of that map. What was that all about?
I think that you bring out on the soldier, I mean, Scribe were discussing this, and you come out the soldier, it gives you a lot of repositioning potential, because obviously you got sprint on the soldier. It might seem like a small thing, but it's pretty big for repositioning value, right? And you move around the point, you go for this retake, but in this case, they just didn't have the burst that they required to get the kills there, because most conventionally you play the McCree on this you use the super McCree composition, right? You discord someone, you make sure the McCree's in position to get that spike damage with the flashbang, with those headshots, and most of the time a Winston will just die. So Runchang is just forced off on the Zarya because he's doing 19 damage per pop, right? They're getting so much healing, like there's no way that they don't out heal that after all. And Scribe, you're talking about something with the biotic field, though. There is interesting when you try and dive onto that, it's very difficult to kill them through that biotic field. In the end, it just didn't end up happening, and they have to move Shocheng over to the Zarya once again and play something a little bit more conventional here.
You guys were very impressed with Rookie on the side of LGD. Tell me about that.
It was good. It was good. He was a good player, Nick Shrub.
Yeah, I think the big part about Rookie is his bomb timings, because I think, well, we have seen a lot of this D.Va Graviton Surge kind of like meta where, you set up your D.Va for this really easy, just drop it right into the Graviton Surge. They can't really shield it, and they get a lot of value from there. What I really like about Rookie is his timings of bombs during the fights, right? He's the kind of person who likes to see how the fight's going, and in the middle of the fight will throw up a bomb that you don't really think will get a lot of value, but because he's kind of hitting the other team in its mid rotation, right, where they're kind of like trying to get in, they've lost the initial part of the fight, they're backing off, and while they're backing off trying to get the safety, the bomb instantly comes in, will take out 2 people, and upon that, right, like even on Numbani, we saw a lot of great synergies there, and that's just where I really like seeing Rookie as kind of this underrepresented diva player. I think he's the real strong crux of this LGD team. Tantra has been all right. I mean, he's had his moments where he doesn't look super strong on very aggressive tanks. He doesn't look like he has that necessary killer instinct that Gushira did last season or Chichirin does in some portions of this season. But I would like to say, though, Rookie, he's definitely been standing. He's the one holding this all together.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of these divas on a lot of teams that just aren't getting the credit they need. We were talking about MG on Flag Gaming from the other day. He plays insanely well and is almost that glue that holds the team together. And I mean, the same light, yeah, so is Rookie. He is that glue that holds them together. When a fight seems to be going badly for them, he drops in a diva bomb or he makes it a well-timed diva matrix. So I think he did eat 2 of Like's grabs, like in that moment, albeit Like throwing grabs off in the most weirdest of places. Like, I think that in that situation, it's kind of easy for Rookie there, but still to get that timer is quite hard when you're so close to the Zarya itself. So the guy's been playing insanely well, allowing like the rest of his team, enabling them almost to do their thing. I don't think we have talked about Hoyo Chien yet, right? This Lucio is insane. Like we see that compared to a player like Lungsa, like from last game. We got the massive boops all the time, and we were talking about this as well, Scribe, weren't we, about how important the support duo is to a team.
Yeah, entirely. I think this is something we can kind of like build off right into the next few points, is that these consistent support duos, right? Like obviously Hoyo Chan being brought in and not even missing a beat, right? Being in the right positions at the right times and being able to heal and execute properly. That's something I didn't really like on Numbani, and that's something I think we hopefully can build on.
Do you think Alter Ego's support duo is just not living up quite as much as LGD's is?
I think it's a lot of the hero choice, right? And this is something that Blank, you yourself touched upon. Numbani, first point, Ana Brigitte is kind of a weird combination just because it's a lot of like solo target healing. You kind of, or it's very situational, right? Like you can have the nade to do a large span of healing, but it works better when your team plays together. We saw their composition that they were running. It was a very much a dive composition. We saw that was how they actually got taken apart, right? They got totally divided, and by the time they were able to regroup, there's not a lot of healing available at the moment you dive on anyone, not a lot of CC that can cancel it out. So that was kind of like a weird moment for Alter Ego where I don't think they were entirely expecting what they were running into.
On top of that as well, Scribe, I mean, that was a weird composition choice, but then we go over to Shocheng, picks the Doomfist on Numbani on defense, and that is not a weird composition choice, so that's pretty standard right there. And you see Alter Ego go up through stairs time and time and again, and we see this kind of same strat when you go into Hanamura on the right-hand side as you come through choke on point A. Doomfist just drops down, smacks the Brigitte, she dies, your composition crumbles. Now he had 3 attempts to do this on Numbani as they come up through stairs, fails 3 times. Luckily the spectator stayed on the entire time, so he is shamed and every time he does do it. But I don't know, he just did not show up in the way that we wanted him to.
You were a bit happy with Shocheng on Genji though, right? When it came to Numbani.
Much more happy. Yeah, way more happy. I mean, the guy plays really well. Scribe was talking about the generation of ultimate through that Genji blade. It is ridiculous. It's insane. He uses Dragon Blade towards the end of point A, has it again for the recontest when it does happen.
Yeah. Well, oh, sorry, Scribe, go on.
Actually, I was just going to make a point about that, right? Because like, one point that we didn't talk about is recently we've kind of seen teams rotate away from this Ana Nano boost helping to cycle ultimates, right? And that's exactly what happened on the second point, right? Like just as they take point A and are going out point B, a fight that they probably should win once EMP goes off, they nano the Genji just to get him back up to that next blade, knowing that that's going to help him close out point B. And I really like how greedy they're playing. They understand that they're the better team, and I want to see them push that advantage.
Well, who do you think you're going to be looking out for the most going into our next map, which we now know is going to be Hanamura?
Shocheng, do better on Doomfist, mate. You're on Hanamura. This is the point where you can make it work. I think point A is a real tough one to hold, and I think Doomfist is one of those heroes that can shut it down earlier. So unless Shocheng doesn't feel too embarrassed, maybe he pulls it out again and manages to force him back that way.
Well, we're going to hand it off to our casters, Rapture and Kenobi, to take it away, and we'll see if Shocheng really does live up to Blank's expectations.
Thank you so much, Gio and the desk. Welcome back, everybody, from that desk segment. It is time for map number 3. We're moving on to Hanamura. LGD Gaming is up 2-0 on Alter Ego. Kenobi, LGD takes one more. They take the series. What can Alter Ego do to get back into this one on Hanamura?
I think Alter Ego just needs to play a little bit more to their comfort picks. And, the desk mentioned it a little bit. Really, their hero choices. We talked about how, Ana Brigitte, while it does offer you a lot of burst potential and single target healing, you don't really have that much sustain for the rest of your team. So maybe take some different picks on themselves. Also, it seems like Blank wants to see Shochang play a little bit better, and it seems like we've been picking on Shochang a little bit, especially after last week and now this week. We want to see Shochang really step up to the plate. He did on Genji, but on Doofus and Zarya, it still needs a little bit of work.
Well, it's out of love, right? We know that he can do better, So like, we want him to live up to that.
We're not
standard.
mad. We're just disappointed, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So LGD gonna be on defense first here up against Alter Ego. These compositions shouldn't be too uncharacteristic, but LG running with the Pharah Hanzo composition here. What do you think about that, Kenobi?
So a lot of potential for like just target burst damage and just tank shredding, really. You have this Hanzo who can use those storm arrows. You have Eternal who is being pocketed by this Mercy who's going to bring a lot of damage with those rockets and that new Pharah that we have with those directs. And you see now Alter Ego switching back over to something to be able to pressure that Pharah in the air. X-Black putting him on McCree, so having the ability to make sure that Eternal just isn't free farming right now. And X-Black here hitting a couple of good shots at the start.
And point A doesn't have like too much cover that Pharah can really use effectively on defense, so I think this is a good change. And then of course the Reinhardt's a little extra barrier there for the McCree to hide behind. Concho finds Jen and then Shochang on X-Black, so that's a 6v4 situation for LGD. Alter Ego cannot push that. They don't have any ultimates, and they're still like because of their composition changes, they're behind the ultimate charge game to begin with. So already LGD a firm defense so far.
The Des talked about Rookie and how well he's been playing, and there that was so sick. It looked like Alter Ego just wanted to death ball in, just run as a 6-man in through this doorway here, but their Rookie was able to boop people and booped enough where the shields weren't able to help Jan 17, and Jan 17 got one rocketed by Eternal, who puts out a huge barrage here. It is blanketed by the Diva, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the team is able to carry on.
Yeah, honestly, that was totally worth it, right? Because Alter Ego was forced to take the barrage, forced to take the Matrix out there. The Matrix only could do so much. Everyone was so closed up there for Alter Ego that the barrage really paid off in dividends despite the Matrix. So LGD really just shutting down Alter Ego. Alter Ego's gonna have to make usage of this high noon and their support ultimates coming up soon.
But they don't have him that quickly. I mean, they've been just targeted this entire time. Jan 17 only 62%. He's been at below half health this entire time. Eternal is just melting this back line right now by himself. They need to figure out a way to deal with them, because right now this is not the way. Even gets the boot onto King Kong, and Alter Ego will look completely lost against this Pharah composition.
All right, and now they're making more changes. I was gonna say, I think they gotta get rid of the McCree because it's like very non-committal. Either you don't have enough damage, but because you have the McCree, you're still kind of going for it, but you don't have enough shielding and tanking otherwise. So they're moving X-Black back over to the Zarya, but that sets them even further back in the ultimate game here. LGD just keeping Alter Ego constantly whipped around here, unable to really stay settled on any one composition. Eternal again, another barrage ready to go for this next fight. Now they're letting Alter Ego get a little separated from one another. Eternal's looking for the backline. Tancho, D-Max, Kaze, now they're using the primary to keep the Zenyatta separated from the rest of the team. Meanwhile, King Kong finds one onto Rookie. Eternal looking to swoosh in. The Transcendence coming out now from Secret. It's so hard for Alter Ego to stop this res from coming out, and Hyokan does get the job done. Rookie comes back. Eternal, 64 HP, comes right back, 35, and then goes down there. X-Black finds the kill, but Secret finding King Kong in the meantime. Now 3 members of Alter Ego, 4 now on the point, but it's going to be LGD trying to, struggling to stay alive, but they're separated. The tanks are not together. It's hard for them to push up onto the point. Self-destruct used to try and keep LGD at bay, but no kills come out, and LGD's trying to funnel onto the point here. X-Black is about to get Graviton. That could be enough to seal the deal for LGD. They gotta keep X-Black alive. That should be done. As Concho goes down, and that's enough here, Kenobi. Alter Ego in 4 minutes and 20 seconds takes control of point A.
And now with the ultimates that Alter Ego have, they have this Graviton and they have the Sound Barrier. They can run onto this point speed on. They just have to be very wary of the barrage and the Dragon Strike, but with this Graviton, X-Black can do a lot of damage, and he's already so high charged.
I don't think Alter Ego is expecting a Dragon Strike immediately as they got onto the point. They have to hide and take cover. Kaze, though, can't. Goes down. 6v5 situation here, though, as Eternal goes down. Now there's a Graviton Tancho using the Primal Rage to stay alive with the help of that pocketing for Hyojon. Seeger going down super low, still staying alive, super low, until finally King Kong puts them down, but used so much of that Primal Rage to do so. Nevertheless, Alter Ego is able to stay alive. Another Dragon Strike comes out from Cho-Chang. 2 in 1 fight, but still not enough to keep Alter Ego off the point itself. Black using those right clicks to shut down Rookie as they get demeched by King Kong. And LGD using these close offensive spawns to get back onto the point, but they don't have any advantage. So they're constantly going down and getting staggered. They need a big pick. They need a big ultimate here to get back into the fight.
Yeah, but X-Black right now is melting the rest of LGD. He's putting them in the microwave. Diva is demech. He's close to that Graviton Surge, and now it seems like it's just a matter of time. The double kill from Kaze, getting the Pharmacy out of the sky. The best counter to a Pharmacy, that's self-destruct in midair.
Yeah, it was looking like New Year's Eve out here. The ball was dropping, huge explosions, confetti everywhere, and Alter Ego will complete the map. Going to use that Graviton to keep them in spawn. Unfortunately, Rookie cannot get there in time. Alter Ego will complete Hanamura, and now they're going to have to force they will force LGD to have to do the same.
So after a very rough early game on this map for Alter Ego, they finally come back and they make some good switches. You know, you mentioned they picked the McCree, but they were very non-committal in how they wanted to run it. Were didn't really understand how to really make him that hyper carry with the composition that they had. They switched there over to something a little bit more comfortable, the 3-3 with the Winston. Then they were able to have X-Black, who was just an absolute monster on that Zarya, shredding through people, as I say, putting them in the microwave with that high energy. Great job from them, and they're rewarded with a time bank of 2 minutes and 50 seconds, something that you never would have expected when they first started this map.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. Alter Ego, they gained momentum, right, and they absolutely snowballed through point B, despite 2 Dragon Strikes coming out there from Cho-Chang. None of them find pay dirt. Great self-destructs coming out by Kaze, who was subbed out for map 2 and then comes back. So having that kind of, in and out kind of, means here hot and cold, not slowing down Kaze whatsoever. Alter Ego might actually be looking better than we've seen them in this set so far. Could this be enough to get a reverse sweep going here, Kenobi? I'd like to see it.
Yeah, and so now Alter Ego is going to be running the composition that we saw them run on Numbani, and Blank talked about it a little bit, how this composition should be played. You want to hack the Brigitte and then use that Doomfist to one-shot her. If they can be able to do that, that might be what they need to win, especially now that they've decided to forego a Brigitte of their own and add something like a Zenyatta, where you have a little bit more healing potential. With that Discord Orb, you can spread the love a little bit around, and you also have that Transcendence, which we know Transcendence to be one of those ultimates in this current meta that is very, very important.
Yeah, and I also, of course, that Transcendence going to be using that to take care of Cho-Chang's Genji Blades for sure. Not going with the Bree. I feel like Alter Ego maybe could use some more of that crowd control, but having the Discord Orb just to melt targets for King Kong and Black, or X-Black, honestly, I think that's definitely worth the trade-off. LGD, though, going for a full right side rotation, but they lose Cho-Chang in the process, who was doing a left side flank and trying to distract. I guess the distraction worked a little bit, but LGD is not even going to get the first third of point A, because they've already lost 2 bodies now. They're down 4-6. Oh, actually, they get a third because Alter Ego is looking for kills, so I guess this pays off for at least a little for LGD. And now they're actually finding kills as Alter Ego is staggered towards the Winston Zenyatta and kind of sacrificing themselves to the players that are on the point. They're not sticking together. They are able to demech Rookie, and that could be enough to hold up LGD, but because they have those closer offensive spawns, Alter Ego might not be able to sustain long enough. They're going to use this nano-boosted Winston to try and push LGD back through the choke point, and that will be successful. It is just enough, but LGD does come out with that first third of point A, and now they're rushing back up onto the point with Secret's Transcendence. King Kong is distracted here, and in fact, 2 members are used to take down Cho-Chang, allowing LGD to get the advantage from the rest of Alter Ego. That's not a great play by Alter Ego, spending so many players to take out 1. And now Kaze using a self-destruct that goes nowhere. LGD just have to essentially run the clock here on this fight against Alter Ego. Alter Ego are their own worst enemies in this fight, burning ultimates and out of position throughout. Now at 2 minutes and 20 seconds, LGD taking point A.
King Kong and Taro Cookie really went too hard to try and get that Sombra pick. You don't need those 2 people. Just send Taro Cookie by himself. King Kong there should have gone to the point. He had that Primal Rage, which he could have used to sustain. But now for LGD Gaming, with this rally, they can possibly just try and run onto this point. There is Taro Cookie, who has the CMP left over from last time, but with the residual armor from that rally, it's going to be very hard for him to one-clip someone.
Yeah, Taro Cookie throwing down the EMP on the low ground of point B. You don't really see that too often, as of course a lot of players are often not there or in cover. I would say that EMP, you know, stopped LGD's momentum for the time being. Didn't really do too much otherwise. I don't think LGD was going to be able to snowball entirely there anyway. But that being said, you know, the EMP does slow down LGD for the time being.
It stops the bleeding a little bit, but LGD is coming back into this next fight with a couple of ultimates to their name, mainly the sound barrier. Their secret probably will also get transcendence by the time this fight starts, so they have double support going into this next fight, as King Kong is going very deep here. He has the primal to sustain himself a little bit longer.
And I think that's definitely the good move here, but LGD, they have so many ultimates to work with, they just outlast his Primal Rage. They can start burning everything. There's the EMP from Shochang, and look at that. Hoyojan and Rookie getting on the board off that EMP. Alter Ego have 0 ultimates to burn here. That's absolutely the worst place they could be in. They're trying to stagger Bunch to the point. They're not even there to touch it. LGD so convincingly taking that fight win off the EMP, making it look way too easy. The Hammond can't even get there in time from X-Black. And there it is, Kenobi. 2-2 on Hanamura. LGD looking for blood. They smell it in the water, and they're trying to end things right here, right now.
And so for King Kong, really there, maybe just a little bit too far of a dive going into the backline. I know you have Primal and you think that, oh, you know, you can go in, I have Primal, I'm going to be able to sustain myself a little bit more, but you have to think about the other people on your team there. As soon as King Kong went into the backline, he left his partner in crime, Kaze, by himself. The Diva got demeched already very early in the fight, and then it's basically a 5v6 because King Kong, while he's taking the attention, is just being farmed by the rest of the team, and they can just walk onto the point after because he's so low with that Discord Urban, with the damage that they have from the side of LGD. They were just able to burst him down. So maybe just need to be a little bit more cognizant of where you're diving and how it's affecting your team, rather than just saying, okay, I have Primal, I can go in, I'm going to be able to sustain, but the rest of my team might die behind me.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, a lot of players, I feel like they see that, like, I have the Primal Rage, I can stay alive, I can go in and just die because I know I can hit Q. What does that mean for the rest of your team? You know, you're not there to really peel for anybody. You're not there to, you know, keep someone off your team if you need to, or put someone in a corner. You're kind of just using it to make sure your dive works. Whereas you kind of want to put some more planning into it a little beforehand, I guess, and not rely on Q. I don't know.
But for LGD, I mean, we have this composition, so I like that they're running this specific variation of goats in the 3-3 because this composition is used to do a lot of frontline damage, but also to milk a lot of time off the clock here, because King Kong can't really dive in against this composition. If he dives in, he's going to get bursted by the Discord Orb, and it looks like he's actually just going to go back and switch himself to Reinhardt, I believe, here. That's what I would like to see from the more... Yep, he's just going to, okay, switch back to the Reinhardt, so you take the full 1v1 battle here, and now it's just a battle of who can get that Discord Orb onto the Rein. Rein is the most important character in this GOATS composition because once the Rein dies, it gives credence for the rest of the team to just go in.
Yep. Oh, wow. They're very aggressive, using the bubble on King Kong to make the pin safe, but he completely whips the pin. And meanwhile, Tanchio lands there as Taro Cookie goes down. 65 situation. Alter Ego is going to take the hint, but maybe not soon enough, as they're going to lose both X-Black and King Kong and Jan and Saga before they can get back into spawn. LGD routing Alter Ego completely just below that 2-minute mark.
So if you're King Kong there, if you're going to charge like that, you have to make sure that you're going to hit someone, because then you just leave the rest of your team to die. And we saw there what Tanchio did. He hit the second most important member in the GOATS composition. The Brigitte got him out of the fight early, and then the rest of the team was able to snowball. King Kong here actually may be switching over to the Hammond, so try to maybe just use some abilities to use that pile driver and get a lot of damage, and then make the rest of LGD Gaming uncomfortable in this GOATS composition.
Not sure what kind of snacks Hamster's like, but it looks like that Hammond King Kong's looking for something in the back line, and then comes right back, trying to rejoin Alter Ego at least a little bit. Tanchio is just swinging wildly out here, has the Earth Shatter, going to try and take out this Bree with a Fire Strike, does so, and now going to be set up for a pin to go right in. Almost catches the Diva as they go by, but just a bit too late there. King Kong will go down. Tanchio doesn't even have to burn the Earth Shatter to win this fight. Alter Ego, really, it's almost like they're kind of separating themselves on their own, and the LGD is like, all right, we'll take those, and they just pick them up.
This is what Scribe talked about on the desk, actually, is them picking compositions that really don't have much understanding towards them. The idea here that King Kong was playing there, he was trying to back cap on the Hammond, but that's not what you want. You don't want the rest of your team thinking on 5v6. This is much better here. And now, what the thing for LGD Gaming is, Tanchio just has a free shatter whenever he wants. There's no shields available for him. I don't even know where King Kong is. He's still just trying to back cap.
Yeah, I really don't know what King Kong's trying to accomplish. The pile driver, but no one's there to follow up on the pile drive. And a Graviton comes out from LGD, trading Graviton's rookie combos off of it, and then gets the DMAC as well. And King Kong is nowhere to be found, so can't help anybody that gets caught in that Graviton. LGD are now gonna stagger Kaze, and yeah, Kaze is gonna not jump off the map, gonna try and rejoin the team. Oh no! Gets bumped into a locker, they shut the door on him. And now King Kong trying to go in and decides to feed some ult charge, doesn't even touch the point. Sound barrier comes out from Sago, and that's a feels bad man right there.
A little bit of it feels bad, man, and I don't understand really the Hammond pick. I guess the way that it was supposed to be played there, what I'd like to have seen it played is you're using the Hammond to get pile drivers onto the front line or the back line, but instead King Kong was trying to use a back cap. If you're going to be doing that, why not just pick something like a Sombra for one of your DPS and then do it that way instead of basically your main tank against a Reinhardt, no less, where you just don't have that ability to win the shield 1v1 because Reinhardt on Tanchio on LGD is just going to get a free shatter every single time because there's no shield. Really, the only thing that can block it is either a stun from the Vegeta or the bubble from a Zarya who just walks up and blocks it. But then you're asking for Carpe levels of skill, right? We're not talking about Carpe levels of skill here. We're talking about Chinese Contenders season 3 rather, and it's just not the same. So the hand pick, not my favorite pick, but it could have been played a little bit better to make it work.
Throwing some shade out here, Kenobi. I see it. This is all live, by the way. This is being recorded. They can go back and check. But yeah, I think you're right. I feel like
they can check, but
they can clip it. Oh, they about to clip you, Kenobi. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like King Kong, what he was doing, like maybe if the timing was better, if he was like if his team could follow up, if his team was like somewhere not being grabbed, like disrupting in the back and you know getting things done, it wouldn't have been a bad idea. The timing wasn't there from King Kong, unfortunately. And now LGD, all they have to do is get 1/3 of point A, and they will take the series, they'll take the map, and then they'll push themselves to a 3-0, set record going into the 4th map. So things are looking very up here for LGD. Alter Ego might be going down to an 0-3 set record here, unfortunately. And now I like this. LGD going for this right side rotation. They're forcing Alter Ego to kind of respect it or wait on the point. Looks like Alter Ego's just gonna respect it and wait on the point here and not follow up and not dive on them. Let's see how LGD can make their way. They're going all the way around, but here comes X-Black trying to disrupt in the back line here. Doesn't get much. LGD is fully stocked up health-wise and shield-wise out here. Alter Ego, though, taking damage before they can even dive in. Look at all this damage that LGD's done, and Alter Ego is not even moving on them. They're waiting for their cooldowns to come back. They're waiting for their abilities to be charged again. They can't dive in, so Alter Ego taking so much damage, and they're not even touching the point, literally watching LGD pick up the point in front of them because they couldn't commit. They were just hesitating way too much, and Alter Ego pays the ultimate price there as LGD takes the point, they take the map, they take the series.
I can see Blank in our Skype call right here. He just put his hands are in his his head is in hands right here. He just doesn't know what to do because Alter Ego are making so many just small mistakes here right there, not getting onto the point. You definitely you have to be fighting for that, and they just seem a little bit lost, Alter Ego. But to be their credit for LGD, they're doing a really good job of making sure that this composition from Alter Ego really doesn't get value. Hoyo-chan, who's been a star player, especially with those boops, whenever X-Blacks dove in, they had that boop ready, booped the Doomfist out of the way, so he wasn't getting full value out of that dive in. So LGD is playing it well, but Alter Ego, man, they're just making so many small mistakes, and it seems to be adding up. It's death by a million cuts right now.
A million cuts. 1,000 million cuts. That would be absolutely crazy. Yeah. Chinese Contenders, the land of weird comps, full stomps, no mines, and C9s. Don't go anywhere. We have one more map coming up for match 2, and then a match 3 after this, so be sure to stick with us here at Broadcast.gg. But don't go anywhere. After this break, map 4 between LGD Gaming and Alter Ego.
too sloppy. Things I showed you, I can't try me. Ooh, after the daylight, it started in the hotel. Some ice cold drinks in this dark room. We went from a high school friendship to some postcard actions. Saw some sweat fall off your face into the dance floor, babe. Dance on, babe. Sweat falls off my face inside. Stand up, babe. Stand up. Stand up. It's nights like this we're wide awake. It's times like this you shy away from me, babe. Started in the hotel lobby, cleaned up just to get too sloppy. Things I showed you, I can't try me. Ooh, after the daylight, it started in the hotel. It started in the hotel.
What's up, Overwatchers? Welcome back to Overwatch Contenders China Season 3, 2018, Week 3, Day 2. It is match number 2 and map number 4 between LGD Gaming and Alter Ego. Kenobi, we're going to Route 66. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm definitely ready to get. I want some of that apple pie that they have in that cafe. I mean, if you've seen the shorts, you know what I'm talking about. That apple pie
baby.
looks so good. But for Alter Ego, interestingly enough, this is one of these maps that they seem to enjoy, especially because they brought in Fenley. And Fenley, the last time that we saw him on this map, it was specifically for that Widowmaker. And it looks like actually he's going to be playing fair because we're going right into the action.
Well, yeah, we're going right in. Wait. What? We're already right in. Okay, so we are already really into this game already. 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and all right. So it looks like Alter Ego has already had a lot of time chunked out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like stuff has happened here. And X-Black there tried to get that Dragon Blade, but was just stopped entirely by the Brigitte and by that Transcendence coming out from Secret there. And going into this next fight, there is that Transcendence from Jan 17, but it looks like right now LGD is completely snowballing all of Alter Ego back to spawn. And King Kong is this time going to go back onto the Hammond. Hopefully works a little better than it did on Hanamura.
Yeah, but already so little time to work with here. And LGD has the tools to respond to what Alter Ego's going to throw at them. X-Black and Fenley, though, about to get Strike, Blade and a Barrage, respectively. And they can have Transcendence to bolster that. So Alter Ego could just start pressing Q. But LGD, if they throw out Sound Barrier and hit an Earth Shatter, that's absolutely it. Here we go. There's X-Black with the Blade. Goes right in. Boosted up by the Mercy. Gets knocked out by Showtang with a response from their own. What a Dragon Blade there. Fenley finds Secret, though. And Secret didn't have a Transcendence to pop just yet. Showtang looking to try and cut down the remainder of his Alter Ego squad, but can't get there in time. Does reflect the tail end of the barrage, but Fenley was able to sneak in a kill on Tancho before he's able to get there. Alter Ego, less than a minute to go, but they have some bodies on the point. Self-destruct comes out, forcing LGD to hit the cover. Down to 39 HP was Showtang, but he's able to get bolstered right back up here from the healing of both Hoyodon and Secret. Hoyodon getting the kill onto Jan. Alter Ego helping down, cutting down Kaze, or cutting down Showtang with the help of Kaze. Now 30 seconds remain, but this payload is going nowhere.
And Showtang, they're really having a rough time with his dashes so far. A lot of the times he's been dashing just into corners or into buildings. Definitely not having that fluid movement that you like to see with these Genshis. The Transcendence is here for LGD to try and stall a little bit longer, but it might just be a matter of formality. Jan 17 is down though, and he dies with Trance. He's had this Trance for so long, and it's really hurting his team that he's not used it yet.
Yeah, and Alter Ego might not be able to get these ultimates in time. LGD does have to stay on the payload. They don't want to let that just sneakily take the checkpoint there. Oh no, Fenley goes down. They're about to have Barrage. X-Black hits the Blade. Will they be able to get kills in time? Hoyodon goes down. Showtang with their own, again responding, but can't cut down X-Black just like the last fight. But X-Black does go down to the right click of Eternal, and just like that, LGD holding off Alter Ego before they can hit even the first checkpoint. LGD setting themselves up for a sweet 4-0 victory.
And Showtang in there really showing X-Black, I am the master of the Dragon Blade. Twice in a row, he's able to cut him down with his own before X-Black is even able to pop off at all. And Alter Ego there, unfortunately for them, the Transcendence from Jan 17 just held for way too long. You can't be dying with that, especially in a last fight situation. You want to at least have the chance to sustain through that last fight, but there goes down too easily. And unfortunately for Alter Ego, it looks like it's going to be a very rough mountain to climb to try and even hold LGD the way they've been looking on this last point.
Yeah, Alter Ego is at the base of Mount Everest with no climbing gear, no jacket, nothing.
They're just in like boxers, and like that's it. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Sitting up at the mountain, up in a nice campsite, nice and warm.
You've got like one of those fluffy coats, like those really like nice just winter coats. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that make noise, where it's like you feel like you're
yeah, they make like the swishy noise. When
swishy noise.
Yeah, I love this. I love those coats. Yeah. And then they have like a balloon that's like hovering up in the air that's providing some satellite like balloon Wi-Fi. Like they're living the high life up here. And Alter Ego is super cold, and they're trying to climb up this mountain. They're trying to make it up. Let's see if they can do it.
And LGD and Alter Ego, actually, interestingly enough, this is something that some of the Zenyatta players in China do. They can flex over to this Tracer. So Jan 17 here, opting for this Tracer, and this is solo tank King Kong right here on this Hammond. But Fenley on the defense, this is really why they brought him in, for this Widowmaker specifically on the defense. It's very, very good, and he could definitely get a couple of picks early in this fight.
Yeah, but if Fenley goes down, it's going to be up to X-Black to get these shots, and it's going to be Pharah needing to hold these sightlines by themselves. And you can already see X-Black falling back, not trying to poke too much. If either Fenley or X-Black peek too much, it's all over for them. Alter Ego is running a triple DPS composition here with Pharah, Widowmaker, and Jan on the Tracer, 2 supports, and then just King Kong on the Winston. A composition if I've ever seen one. Now you know that we're in Contenders China with this one. And LGD just kind of making mincemeat of this Alter Ego squad.
Mincemeat that they're probably going to cook into burgers later or something else, because right now it does not look good. Fenley is down, hasn't really gotten any value so far out of that Widowmaker. X-Black is getting close to this barrage, but I expect Rookie to just eat the entirety of it, which he's been doing so far this matchup. He's been really good at making sure that the values from X-Black's rare barrages haven't been getting the value that they need.
Oh, and there we go, X-Black trying to swoosh in with the barrage. Gonna have to pop that soon. They've already lost King Kong. That's their only tank. They have very little space controlling or space creating tools now. X-Black finds Hoyajon, but that's certainly a sacrifice LGD will make time and time again. Fenley does get the poison trap kill on Shochang, but that's it. LGD with a 4, pretty much, I mean, yeah, that's just, I mean, a 4-0 advantage here, 4-1 advantage here now, as the Winston gets on here in time, but only to contest for a brief moment, and now just gonna be the, that's it, yeah, that's it. LGD, they have full control, that's it. Alter Ego trying to straggle onto the point there, but it's very little they can do. LGD taking the series, they take the map, and they take it entirely 4-0 over Alter Ego.
We didn't see the entirety of Route 66 there, but it still just looked completely convincing for LGD. Alter Ego just looked lost after that Hanamura map, and really in that Route 66, not sure what they were trying to do with that last pick. You know, you had Fenley, who is a Widow specialist and who's had his pop-off moments on that Route 66 before, but it just wasn't enough. LGD seemed ready for it, and they take the clean 4-0.
Yeah, very, very clean. Didn't even need any soap to wash it off with. LGD taking it 4-0. There were 4 maps to talk about. Let's see what the analyst desk has to say. Gia, why don't you take it away?
I love the end of that where it's just like, that's it. I think that's how it's felt through quite a lot of this series. But guys, let's start by talking about in Hanamura. We saw Alter Ego playing kind of aggressive, well, King Kong playing kind of aggressively and not getting that much peeling for the healers. Jan was left behind a lot. You know, what was going on here?
Just lack of coordination. I think it's a lot of things with these newer teams, because I think that their win conditions they don't have as many win conditions as some of these more established teams. But because of that, I think they really hard kind of like swerve into these win conditions, right? Like we talked about King Kong being the big impact player, and I think he's taking it on himself to be like, well, I need to put myself in these positions where I can win, but he's not working with the rest of his team. He needs to understand that even though he is the centric focus, he can't entirely be that greedy where he's like trying to go into the back line to get a good pile driver, especially if the rest of the team recognizes that he's no longer with the team and is willing to push in. So I think Alter Ego has a lot of stuff they need to work out. I think they need to get more comfortable with maybe finding these alternative win conditions, playing different compositions, which will help them a lot more. We definitely see them trying to adapt to this 3-3, right? Like normally we saw that they were a very strong dive specialist team. Now they are flexing over to this 3-3 dive style of play, which I think will definitely help them in terms of functioning against a typical GOATS composition.
Scribe, one thing that you said while we were watching the game is you shouldn't be able to hold the first point of Hanamura, and that's exactly what we saw LGD do to Alter Ego on the second round. You know, what happened there?
It's retakes. I mean, yeah, I think Albion, who unfortunately is not able to be on the desk like right now, but he lives and dies by this. It's so hard to kind of hold it because there's so many entry routes in once you breach the initial kind of like front gate. There's a lot of options to get high ground for free. There's a lot of options to rotate over to the right side from the attacker point of view and attack from there. Right, there's a lot of really good ways to kind of alternate your approach to the point, which makes it very difficult to defend. But at the same time, if you don't have that killer instinct, you're not going in to finish the map absolutely, you leave a lot of room for people to filter back in. Tantra was alive for a very long time, and because of that, able to stall and able to allow them to come back into the fight and win this. So it's a lot about Alter Ego. I think they were panicking a little more when they saw that they were winning. They probably didn't immediately think about, oh yeah, well, we have to focus people down still with the man advantage. I think they started thinking, well, we have the man advantage, we can kind of scatter, and because of that, they weren't able to laser down anyone immediately.
yeah, it's kind of unacceptable, really, for that to actually happen. They're able to get off the point, and even just the first tick going over, there's about 5 members of AE still readily available to contest that point. But I think it comes down to Eternal almost in that situation, because we have touted his Brigitte before on this desk, and he plays an amazing Brigitte, and then the way he's able to escort his Lucio, escort his Zenyatta around the map and make sure that they are safe, keeping himself like between them and the tanks, he's extremely strong. And I think he is that linchpin when it comes to the retake, because he's able to make sure that everyone else is alive in that situation, be it using armor packs, be it using whip shot, be it with shield bashes. And then the rest of the team, they flood back on. AE are unsure what to do, because now they're fighting 2 battles at once, and really, yeah, they just dropped the ball there afterwards.
Hey, Blank, you were a big fan of Eternal throughout this series, but there was some kind of questions about his positioning on the Pharah and how he was playing her. Maybe we could go into a little bit of detail about that. I mean, what was going on with that?
I think he's got a great Sombra, he's got a great Brigitte, and he understands exactly what he's doing when he's playing Brigitte and Sombra, right? And you go over to the Pharah, yeah, he hits the shots. Like, the man is pretty damn good when it comes to accuracy with his directs, but his positioning, like, there's one moment where he's just in the air and he absolutely goes for the barrage, and he's just above 100 charge Zarya and just gets lasered down. It's like, okay, so you're in that position, you can kind of forgive that mistake, right? And then you go into another situation where he barrages the team of Alter Ego as they're coming out onto point A, and they're rushing through Mini and going up the stairs. And in that situation, you just see the D.Va literally just looking at him, just popping the Korean future vacuum, right, and just sucking up all the rockets. And he's like, okay, I'll take this. And then he's just looking at her, doesn't even attempt to look away. And D.Va's like, I guess I fly at you now and die? And that's exactly what happened. So I think the positioning is a bit weird, and I guess it's strange going from a very much grounded character like Brigitte to roaming the skies. And I think that kind of switch is something that he needs to determine now, because we have seen it with T1W versus LGE. T1W playing really, really strong on the 3-3, but then they go over to DPS and they're not performing as well. You need to have a balance. Like, you still need to have your Brigitte player be able to play DPS and not just become Brigitte only forehead.
Well, lastly, guys, what was it that allowed LGD to keep A from even like taking the first point on Route 66?
I think it's a lot about kind of I think it's a lot of things, right? I think we can most likely cite the fact that, like, this is kind of where, when you're down 0-3 and you've been playing the same thing, the same style for the entire series, it becomes very easy to get into your own head and not really be willing to take it in, right? We can point at Fenley of being unfair, period, right? That's kind of like, this is their Widow specialist. This is where they can get their bread and butter. But if they're not able to produce picks, if you're not able to get that momentum going, it becomes very easy to just go, okay, let's just switch. Let's switch something that's going to get a lot more damage done, that we can hopefully finish off with Barrage if possible. But I think this is where you kind of saw LGD flex a little more. I think that the Genji definitely looks a lot better when Shou Chang's on it. I think that he has a better knack for, you know, building up for this this long payoff, right, with these blades, especially later in the round. And I think he's getting a lot more room, especially with his rest of the team playing more aggressive and really covering for that. So I think in general, LGD just looked a lot more refined when they had a good head on the shoulders. But props to AE though. AE definitely pushed them as far as they definitely could. And I think that if they can take one map from this, I think this is an entirely different series.
Yeah, it really, really is. And I think there was a lot of opportunity there for AE. They did a great job overall, but in the end, LGD, they just come out on top.
Well, hopefully AE will be able to take some things from this series, maybe come back and watch our desk segments, and be able to fix things up a little bit for next week. But our third game will be coming soon. It will be Team CC versus Laboratory. So we're going to throw to a quick break. Make sure you come back for that last game later on.